Welcome to Whiskey and Whiskers Midweek. This is your host, Chop.
Gator.
Chris.
Blake.
And this week is
Critically Ashamed.
Critically Ashamed, and the curse that I brought down upon this holy land by making us watch Velocipastor.
Oh, man. Apparently, the guys were really reluctant to watch this movie because it took us, 3 or 4 weeks to fucking finally all watch it?
And counting.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's not what I expected to hear.
I was surprised, I guess. I can't say whether I had any kind of feeling tied to that surprise, but...
Dude, so here's the thing. I went into this expecting nothing, right? Like, just nothing. If you take into account...
What you got is something.
What I got was something.
Dude, no, yeah, it's not that way.
If you take into account the budget and the fact that this movie holds no preconceived notions of what it is. Like, it knows exactly what it is, and it does that aggressively.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, so what it is like it's a super campy, like, way below B-list movie. And they know it, so they're trying to perpetuate that and make it. But
see, that I think that's the reason I like it is because they were even making fun of that. Mm-hmm. Like,
but it's good though. Like it's good. Like the actors are good, man.
Dude,
the priest, he's fucking good, man.
He's over the top for sure. The hooker with they took even especially the writing. I feel like you take
Hold on, before we get into this.
Okay.
As per usual, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it because we're going to spoil the fuck out of this movie.
Yeah.
It's only like an hour, and it's worth watching.
It's definitely worth watching.
And we'll get into this at the end, but where you want to watch this is like if you want like you're trying to fuck off on the toilet and you watch YouTube for like 10 minutes, but for like an hour and 15 minutes.
You got to wipe a lot. It just wouldn't stop.
So... they take these like movie writing storytelling tropes like a hooker with a heart of gold or no, I am your brother or like
parents dying.
Yeah, they use these plot devices
so
over the plot devices are as over the top as what's going on the screen,
Yeah.
And so what it tells me is, and then the bad like effects. They literally, a car explodes.
Yeah, the very first scene, a car explodes, and it's like killing his parents, and they're showing his face, and he's freaking out, and then it goes over to the car, and it says like, VFX
there's no car.
Yeah, it's like VFX car on fire in text on the screen.
Like even the special effects and the makeup and everything is
the fake heads and
ridiculous.
Stuff.
Yeah, They didn't even try to make why spend money on trying to make the dinosaur look like a dinosaur? Yeah. And you're just like we're all just pretending this isn't like what is it, like the broom pony? Like It's like a stick pony with a horse head on it. It's one of those with like a velociraptor head on it.
Yeah.
And it's like
he sticks his hand out to grab that guy's arm and rip
even
it off.
that looks like a T-Rex.
And it's just a rubber glove on his hand.
Yeah.
Like a dishwashing glove. Yeah. So, the pimp, dude, the pimp was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Frankie Mermaid.
Hell yeah, dude.
And y'all,
who's Frankie Mermaid?
The movie
He's the pimp.
It could have ended right there when he vindicated their death. Like, that could have killed the whole movie right there. But they tacked so much more shit onto it, like the whole war thing.
You know why he's called Frankie Mermaid?
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
You know why he's called Frankie Mermaid?
Do you?
Because he's swimming in bitches.
Hell yeah.
And then he slaps the shit out of her.
Yeah, the war thing, dude. When they're like, war is war, and war is hell or something. It's so shitty.
They even hit on war movie Vietnam tropes.
But he's like, yeah, this is the girl I'm waiting to go home to, and it's like a very homely girl or whatever. And they're like, in the woods in Nam or
Yeah,
something,
dude.
and then like his friend dies, and then he's like trying to write a letter back to his friend's parents, and his girl just like walks out of the woods.
Yeah, dude.
And she's like running up to him, and then she just like explodes into like a bucket of gore and just like slimes him. And the two guys walk up and they're like, I wonder what she was doing out here in the Viet Cong. Maybe she was trying to start a family.
Yeah,
And
dude.
he's just
it's
like,
so funny.
oh my God.
She's too far gone. We can't do anything now.
Yeah, they're like, we can't save her. She's too far gone. And it's just like a bucket of blood on him.
She like vaporized, bro. Just like a cloud of shit for a second. It was so awesome. And he's just like, look on his face. He's so like winded.
So they hit on Exorcist, like the Exorcist movies. They made fun of obviously war movies. They made fun of like old school kung fu movies.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah, because there's ninjas also.
And the like leader of the ninjas, he's so awesome.
I just love it that they unapologetically like just trashed everything,
Yeah, for sure.
and they didn't care. They're like, why would we? What? I'm imagining them being
how can
like,
we make this shittier?
yeah, why would we make the dinosaur look like a dinosaur? That's not our style.
Dude, so honestly,
Someone's like, that's a T-Rex, and they're like, ah, fuck it.
I came into it
Close
expecting
enough.
like high quality, really good production, good plot. Not a good plot.
You were
know,
expecting
but-
like Sharknado.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then what I got was not that, but I was really surprised. And I think it was better than what Pastornado could have been, Velocipastornado.
So one thing I will say that I actually legitimately, no fucking jokes, like I'm not bullshitting, not sarcasm. The soundtrack was fucking dope.
Yeah.
And it was clearly just like punk rock bands that the director knew.
Yeah.
But it was good. Like
Yeah, it
that's
was.
what made it awesome. Like it was just, yeah, it was just like punk bands that like you probably have never heard a song of.
I will say that, so the sex scene, they did a sex scene.
Oh, and that's a cliche with the priest and her. And yeah.
They did the sex scene, and I felt like that sex scene could have been over in like 15 seconds, but they took it way too long because they were like, hey, bro, I'm going to use your music in my movie. And they used that for the sex scene, and they were like, oh, we'll just let it keep playing. And so they extended this. And there is, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to spoil, anything good. But the entire movie, that first of all, that hooker with a heart of gold is smoking hot.
Yeah.
And the entire movie is like her bending over and like her knees are together and the camera's real low and you're just like, dude, they're gonna show it. They're going to, and they don't, and it makes it that much hotter.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that suit, dude, she's wearing like a spandex fucking Uma Thurman
The one she gets
onesie jumper
chopped in, yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know. I thought she was naked at one point because she was laying in such a way that like her back was totally bare. And I was like, here it is. Come on.
So kind of on that same boat of like how they ran that sex scene out for a lot longer. One of the things that made me laugh a lot at this movie was the awkwardness when like somebody would start laughing, like the ninja guy would start laughing and he'd do the like,
And the other guy's
laugh.
trying to laugh with him, but he's clearly not.
Yeah, and he's like really awkward about it, and so he'd like laugh for a little bit, and then they'd both shut up and look at each other, and then the villain would start laughing again, and then like 3 seconds after the villain laughs, the other guy would start laughing with him, and it was just like, yeah.
Or the bad camera, so like they're filming something, and the guy's like, no, and then the camera like pans up, and then it kind of like drifts off, and then like looks at a fucking tree or something, and like it just keeps following the camera.
It's so what it comes down to, like, it's a really good balance of like they make fun of everything. It's like that awkward funny, like between two ferns kind of shit, where it's like this is.
That's what I'm saying. If you go into it expecting Sharknado, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? If you go into it expecting like stupid internet cat video, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth watching, I would say.
It kind of reminds me of like what the old YouTube series that were like that, like Balloon Shop or something like that, where it's like this is nonsensical and fucking ridiculous, but it's hysterical for some reason.
I'm going to say, dude, I've watched it twice, and I had fun with it. It did take me a little bit to get into it, especially the first run through. I was like kind of playing on my phone and like half watching it. By the time I watched it the second time, I was actually watching it, and that's when I started to appreciate like all the subtle things that it's not so bad that it's good. That's not what it.
Right.
That's not what I would. The way I would describe it. I would describe it like
That's like Toxic Avenger or something like that.
Yeah, this is just intentionally bad. Like,
Right. Yeah.
But they did a really good job at it. Like,
Yeah.
they thought about
they put
how to make it
yeah
really
they put
bad.
effort into how to make this bad, but still hit all of the things that they wanted to hit.
So you're like, this is craftily bad.
Which is almost like good, in a way.
It's like ingenious almost,
Like somebody actually had to put intelligence and like thought into how we're gonna do all of this shittily, but also still make fun of the things that we want to make fun of. And
I have fun imagining the people that created it, and they're like they're filming something and they accidentally see her panties, and they're like, nope, we can't do that because that's what they're like, the whole anticipation.
That's what they want.
Yeah, no, we can't do that. So then they're like, all right, reshoot it. And so they reshoot it, and they're like, nope, because the boom mic is supposed to come into frame, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, try again, reshoot it. Like, all the things that they're trying to do are all the things that they're not supposed to or something. It makes me laugh or smile that they're like, oh, there's not enough blood. There's not enough gore. Like, we need you to...
30 seconds of hose spraying of blood, and you're like, oh my God.
Or they're like, oh no, from this angle, like... they wait till the very end to completely reveal the dinosaur, which is awesome. I don't know how I feel about just showing us the dinosaur and it clearly being a guy in like a rubber suit.
yeah,
I almost kind of, part of me wishes that they'd have kept, because you can tell it was bad.
yeah.
But it's like a rubber fucking teeth or and the teeth are like bending and stuff.
I know.
I almost wish they would have kept some obscurity, but
that almost like adds to the point of like they've ruined it even more.
Yeah,
it just like
did it.
makes it even worse.
At the end, you
beginning,
have
they
to
did.
show the monster, right? Like that's another trope,
Right.
and they did, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah, I think for what they were shooting for, like that overly campy, like super shitty movie, and just like make fun of everything, I think like they nailed it. Like I don't.
It's not a movie that I would see myself watching over and over again.
Right. Yeah.
But and I feel like there's going to be people out there that watch it and they're like, this I can't. No, this is dumb.
Yeah.
But the people out there that are like that can get into things for the sake of how shitty they are or how campy they are or how underground they are or whatever.
If you liked Toxic Avenger or like Rubber would be a good one.
Yeah.
Anything like that, and you can appreciate how like this is fucking stupid. And even those are like higher production value, and they were kind of trying to be legit. This is not that, but
Right.
if you can appreciate that and why those are movies, then you'll get a kick out of this. So we didn't even talk about this, but that's this is Critically Ashamed.
Okay.
First of all, how do we feel about it? Like critically acclaimed, critically ashamed? Are we saying this is worth
This
watching?
is a hard one to do because it everything's like meta and backwards. Like you're like, oh no, this is a terrible movie, and it's like, well, then they nailed it.
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh dude, they nailed it, and you're like, dude, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. I'm not gonna. I would recommend it, but with discretion.
Okay.
I mean, again, I think there's certain people that this is gonna fit perfectly with, Mm-hmm. But I don't know that I would be like, this is my favorite movie.
Yeah. I don't know if somebody asked me to recommend a movie if I would come out the gates with this one.
I would.
For sure.
I would. Look, when you put it in its perspective and look at it for what it is, it's gold. It's fucking cool.
It's fool's gold anyway.
It was very Tim and Eric-esque to me,
Yeah, for sure.
I got that vibe from it big time. Like, remember Paul Willow when he has the mattress shop and then it cuts into the nightmare scene and he's like, ah, and there's blood squirting everywhere. I was like, fucking Velocipastor, dude. Every single scene was like that. Super dramatic, super emotional, and then blood everywhere.
And then there's just inexplicable. He wakes up from a daze, right? And there's the hooker there with him, and they're like, "Oh, we need to go back out and look for the bodies or something." And he's like, where are my clothes? And she's like, oh, I don't know, they're out there or something. So then it shows them walking through the woods in like a park. Like it's clearly like a park.
Yes.
Like a city park.
There's
but they're
a parking
walking
lot on the other side.
But they're walking through the woods and he's got her like one of her dresses on that's like super tight on him. And it's like, what? That was the solution you came up. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's super satirical, if that's the right word. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but even that doesn't fit it right. You know, it's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard to peg down. It doesn't fit really into a lot of notches.
It definitely fits in the, like, if you're browsing categories, it's in the miscellaneous section.
Yeah.
It's not really...
Don't they call it a horror movie? Isn't that how it's categorized?
Maybe? I don't know.
It's not a horror movie.
It's
No.
scary, dude.
a horror comedy, maybe?
All the
Yeah,
gore, man.
I
I
can
don't
see
know. It's
that.
kind of scary. It creeps me out. I'll
So-
have nightmares.
I'm going to say, kind of in the same boat, I'm going to say it's worth checking out. If you've listened to this and been like,
Huh.
or if you've made it this far into this episode,
Yeah.
it's probably worth checking out. If you haven't, then, fuck you anyway. But what I was going to get around to earlier also is, again, critically ashamed. So I think it's time to pass the torch. But so what did we did this? What did we do the time before?
That was Tim and Eric, right?
Was Tim and Eric the last one?
I think
so.
So I think now it goes to Chris. I think,
I did Primer. And
which
then
was right before Tim and Eric, and then
Chris
Brazil
did
was before that.
But he did Brazil.
Yeah.
And then you did Tim and Eric, and then you did Velocipastor.
Right.
So we're all even. We can start over.
Right. So, well, I originally started. So we're already into round 2.
Oh.
Because I started with, damn it, Boys and Girls Guide to Getting Down.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's right.
So we're into round 2 now. But I do believe it's Chris's turn.
I don't have one.
Do you lose your turn for this week until somebody else thinks of one?
I have one, but I can't think of the name.
Think of it.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Is it a comedy? Horror? Is it stupid? Fun?
Nonsensical.
Nonsensical?
Nonsensical. Okay, so we took a minute to pause and then figured out what this movie was.
What is it, Chris?
It's called Zardoz.
So,
Sean Connery.
yeah, we just watched the trailer for this, and
I wanted to catch what we're feeling right now.
it is wild.
Well, you were just telling a story, and I said, "Hold on, let's start the mic again."
It was Sean
So-
Connery right after he got done with
007.
Uh-huh.
It was right after he was James Bond, and apparently he was trying to do something very obscure to separate himself from the James Bond brand.
He didn't want to get typecast as James Bond.
Exactly.
Which he totally did.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie looks fucking wild. It's definitely one of those. It fits the mold of out of the comfort zone. Like this
Oh,
isn't a
looks
movie
awesome.
that you would just be scrolling and be like, "Oh, Zardoz. This looks like something I'm interested in."
Yeah.
It looks very weird. It looks like one of those weird movies from the 70s that has like way too many hairy armpits and titties.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
Good movies.
yeah, I'm
I'm stoked.
I'm pumped.
Can't wait to watch it. Can we watch it now?
All right, guys. So
We're gonna watch Zardoz. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye.
Zardoz. Check it out. Watch it before Critically Ashamed. We'll do this in a few weeks or something. So you got a little bit of time, but be sure to check it out and come check out the Critically Ashamed on it.
And then also, dude, watch Velocipastor. I think if you've listened this far, then you'll get into it.
For sure. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That's enough for this week. We got new episodes every Monday and new content all the time. So check us out.